going on, fellas?
Oh,
Good evening.
happy Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
KOTG Tuesday.
Tuesday Night Grass Show. All right.
Man, we got sound effects rolling tonight.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I was looking for LTZ's $1.99 with the clapping, but guess it hasn't came yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's laying off.
Yeah,
It's been,
those $2 are adding up every week.
$2
I
are
know,
adding up. He was like, man, I
Netflix
could go get some
subscription.
beers. Could have got some beers with that money at this point, right? Good night. Well, what's happening, fellas?
Oh man,
Not
lawn
much.
season. Lawn season. Keep
Lawn
off the grass.
season. You're
laying
not kidding.
stripes, cutting grass.
Getting those
Man.
multiple mows a weekend.
No, Bill, you still on your 1 week of mow strategy, or you got to?
Dude, I was gonna mow yesterday. I had the day off, and I went out there. I made a video, but I didn't cut any grass. This growth regulator I put down is really working. I was like, did I put down too much? Because it is not. It hasn't grown at all. So I'm pretty pumped. It looks really good. It's it's healthy, but it's just kind of there. So I'm excited about that. Definitely sticking with the once a week. Shoot, maybe even every other week. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm not quite 2 weeks out from doing it yet.
Is that the first time you have applied that ever?
Yeah. Yep. First time I've ever done it. I meant to use about half the bag of my 5,000 square foot, and I went a little bit over. So I don't know. We'll see how it does over the next few weeks. I may not need to do another application, but we'll see.
It was
I
a
don't know. I'm pretty
granular?
excited.
Granular
Yeah, it's
product?
granular. Yeah, you don't water it in though, so it's still foliar, I guess. Maybe the moisture from the dew kind of helps dissolve it or something while it's sitting there right at the surface. I'm not sure exactly, what it says, but you don't water it in. You just spread it on there and kind of leave it. And yeah, it's working. It's definitely working. Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
I'm pretty
cool.
excited.
The only
It's like
drawback of that is then you're not freshening up your stripes.
That's the thing. Exactly. Yeah.
Bill's
Yeah.
gonna run out of reels to make because he's gonna be sitting there
I know.
wait for his lawn so he can mow. He's gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Actually,
He's
that-
like, I can't mow. I can't mow.
That's a
I
good
need
idea
to be
for a reel though,
creative.
right there. You can go out there and
Yeah.
be like sitting there like,
So you got a couple
$1.99 are coming in.
199s coming in.
I like it.
Drunk
Thank you,
Lawn
guys.
guy just dropped one too.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Ooh, he's got $2.
Ooh,
He's a penny up.
rounding up, man, for St. Jude.
The high spender of the night so far is Drunk Lawn Guy. So it's like an auction. Who can outbid him? Who's got 201, 201, 201? Now give me
Can I hear?
201.
I got a 201, 201, 202.
But
Oh man. Well, we got Andrew back tonight. It's good
Yeah,
to
we
see you,
do.
sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas. Looking forward to it.
So hey, let's get the show started so we can start asking some questions. I'm excited to hear what Andrew has to say. Episode 115 of the Keep Off the Grass livecast. The last episode of April. We're going to be into May next week.
Damn.
Let's all raise a glass. Keep off the grass. Spring is on the way.
Yeah.
Underway. I don't know.
Got a little tea.
I got a glass of milk.
Ooh, nice. All right.
Nice.
cold.
You're gonna bless us with a milk mustache, Nate.
Ooh,
My
Papa
dinner
O's.
just came out of the
Brother.
oven at like 9 o'clock, so I'm like, oh shit, I better eat and do what I can. So
Speaking of the auction,
Milk after this.
Papa's the top bidder, $9.99.
Papa, thanks, Papa. We appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate all your
Thanks,
guys'
Russell.
support.
Yeah, for
So-
sure.
There we go.
Zach Wilson. All right. So
Ready to drop it.
So
Definitely,
Andrew, who is Andrew? Who's he with? Who do we have on the show tonight?
Turf Titan, man.
Turf Titan.
Go.
Let's go.
Well, welcome back. We had you on last year, but for anybody that wasn't watching, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about Turf Titan. Anybody that didn't pick up last year's episode when we had you on, and
Right.
kind of go from there, I guess. Right?
Sure. So yeah, I'm Andrew Saul with Turf Titan. We started this company about 3 years ago. The Turf Titan side of the business came from Biodyne USA. Biodyne's been around 30 years, started with like bioremediation. So cleaning up brown sites, VOCs, pesticides, herbicides, things like that. And then they pivoted and figured out that this beneficial bacteria that they were using to clean up soil had benefits for plants. So they got into the ag industry, and that's really where they've been the last 20 years. And they've absolutely blown up. I mean, the farmers, when they first came out, thought they were, selling snake oil pretty much. And then the farmers started seeing results, and then they invested in a company that kind of showed, how you can how these microbes are using what's locked up in the soil and showing the uptake in the plant by doing tissue samples and soil samples at different times during the year. So they had the proof behind the science, and it's absolutely blown up. So there's a lot of people coming into that space, and they've kind of really tried to set themselves apart. So that side of the business, hugely technical. And Gil Farley, the owner of that company, said, hey, he wanted me to come in and start the lawn line. And I guess my view on it was, and it's the reason you guys are doing this podcast. A lot of people just don't know what they're doing, and you go into a hardware store and you see, 10 different types of fertilizers that have numbers on them, and people don't know what to use, when to use it, if it's going to burn out their yard and all that good stuff. So my main goal was just to, number one, put products out that worked, and number two, simplify it. So just, the names say what they are, what they do, what they're good for. And then we have a whole program that kind of shows, when to use what products. So, I mean, that's the main thing, man. When we started off, we didn't know what the heck we were doing, quite honestly. I mean, when I came on this show last year, even, it's like we were still figuring stuff out. And I feel like we've put together a pretty darn good program. And, everybody that, honestly, we didn't know, like, hey, what are people going to say? Especially guys like you that know what the hell you're doing. Like, are you going to have good results or not? And I mean, I've been amazed at the response that we've gotten. So I'm not saying you want to use, you don't have to use all of our products, but I think if you can do a mix with ours and other guys, I mean, you're going to have good results and do good things. So, and I think ours it's just a little bit different, I mean, they do different things than, typical granular product out on the market or just NPK.
I like that you guys have kind of your program, different levels within that for folks that kind of need kind of something simplified or to make it all inclusive for them, kind of what price point they want to do. But then at the same time, you guys offer everything individually for guys who like to kind of customize and tweak and do different things. I think that's kind of neat is having both options, one super simple, one for guys like us that kind of, just micromanage our lawns.
Right. The mad scientist.
Right.
Yeah.
Throwing everything at it.
Andrew, I was curious. You said you came into this a couple years ago. What did you do before this?
I worked for a company that was in the water treatment industry and the lawn industry. So we supplied, like, if you've heard of Site One, we supplied those guys and Ewing. And so I was kind of in the lawn industry from a contractor side, not so much on the homeowner, but one of the sides of the business supplied, just consumer packaged goods to Lowe's and Walmart and Home Depot. And so I kind of understood, packaging and marketing and had a buddy that, Josh Pollock, who you guys have met, who's really solid with that too. And we just kind of beat it up and put these products out there. So, yeah, but mainly it was on the irrigation side of the business. I don't know if you guys saw the Rust Wrecker product that we brought out. So that's just it's a spray that you put on if you have rust stains from wells, spray it on, you watch the stains disappear. So that was kind of step one of a product that we used to sell. And I just thought there was better ways to market that and get it out in the marketplace. So that's gotten a lot of play. I've seen a lot of people using it. A lot of people, you see the results of that product. A lot of people put out reels and posts on it, and it looks legit for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, the cool thing about that product is, Thatch Buster, you put it down, you wait, and it could be like, a month or so or two before you really see results. that rust wrecker, you spray it on and you stand there and watch the stains disappear. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It fulfills that instant gratification
exactly.
thing that we all have, right?
Yep. So yeah. So I think when we started, we had 4 products, and we're up to 12 now. And I feel like our lawn set's pretty good. So now we're just looking at, okay, what else can we bring for the guys like you and for homeowners that we can maybe leverage our biology, because that's really what we're good at and what we like, the microbes, and then bring out other products. So we're beating that up now. So
I'm really interested in the microbe stuff. So the Thatch Buster, you're utilizing the microbes and all that kind of stuff to help kind of break down that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of got you guys looking at that? Because it seems like there are a few companies out there that employ whether it's the mycorrhiza or in your case, I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but just the soil microbes, the microbiome kind of stuff. Like what kind of steered you guys into that direction?
So Dr. Fred Farley, he's a PhD microbiologist, and they came up with a product, the Thatch Buster product. He figured out all these microbes that break things down. So the microbes in Thatch Buster will break down chitin, lignin, cellulose, starches, waxes. Cellulose is what your thatch is made out of. So they get in there, and it's not just eating your thatch layer, it's breaking down things in your soil too. So that one's all about degrading things. So you can put that on a compost pile, things like that too. Farmers do that in the fall, and they spray it on the crops after they harvest, because with a lot of those, with the stalks that they've been genetically modified at this point, they're super hard. They tear up tires. They don't get in the spring the planting that they need. So that product gets in there and then just eats it. So, and it's all natural. So, and a lot of those guys have gone to, no-till and things like that. So the difference, then you have the root booster team, and it's all about teams. So, you have guys that'll say, oh, we have 8,000 different species in our product, but how do you test for that? So ours, we know in Thatch Buster, there's 28 different bugs. We have like pharmaceutical grade equipment that we've invested in, and we know that when we send a product out there, we know what bugs and what species are in there. We test for it. We third-party test, so it's safe and good to go, versus, I think of those as a compost tea. So you don't really know what species you're getting, and some species will outcompete other ones and use them as a food source, so you don't really know what you're getting.
Is there a shelf life on that product?
Yeah, it's 2 years.
Oh,
so
that's
the sooner you can use it, the better. I like to use it in, I'm in Indiana, so I keep all my stuff out in the garage. I don't like to have it over the winter, because if it freezes, it's toast. At that point, it's dead. Yeah. So, yeah. And then the root booster product, those are kind of our 2 cores. That one is the one that's all about unlocking. So I'm not anti-fertilizer by any stretch, because that's what our Lawn Commander is, but you can use less fertilizer and get good results. So like, if there's nitrogen locked up in your soil, phosphorus, especially like in Michigan where they have the phosphorus bans, the bugs will release that phosphorus and make it available to the plant.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I saw earlier, and Zach had it, highlighted up there for a minute, but Jake had a question. Yeah. So let's see. So what are the effects of the living microbes on products like pre-emergence fungicides, synthetic fertilizers? I'm curious, you can answer that however you want, but I'm also curious to see, do you guys have any recommendations as far as timing of when would you recommend putting down something like the Thatch Buster or the Root Booster? And should you space it out from things like pre-emergence fungicides, those sorts of things?
No, you can use actually a lot of this, because we sell Site 1 too, like larger sizes and things like that. So those guys, because labor is an issue too, they'll make one pass and they'll put the pre-emergence down with the Thatch Buster. So I like, just to make it easier, you can put it down anytime during the year, because it's not like your thatch is going to go away.
Sure.
We just to make it easy said, hey, use it when you would aerate. So a lot of people will aerate in the spring or in the fall. So that's kind of the easy way to do it. But again, you can use it throughout the season. Root booster, anytime you're planting seed, anytime you're fertilizing, you can put that in. And I like to say, it's just like throwing steroids on your fertilizer. It's just going to help make it pop. So, and that's good in the summer too. We've done studies with drought and it helps with that too, just because you're building bigger root systems with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Healthier, stronger. They have the mycorrhiza. That's what I'm excited. I have some earthworks that I got. I'm going to put on going into summer. That's like a granular type thing. We had them on a little earlier, but I'm excited to see kind of if that has any noticeable impact throughout the summer. I'm doing a few different things new this year, so I can't really pinpoint, what specifically I'm doing. I should have done one at a time, but I don't have 5 years to kill, so I'm just doing it all.
Right.
See if it works. But I'm excited to see how it does and see if I can kind of stay a little bit more drought tolerant throughout this summer, because that's always been a big struggle for cool season in Missouri. Is it just you get no rain and you get that heat, the humidity, you're watering, but it just turns, starts turning brown.
Right. Right.
Well, yeah. And going back to what Andrew kind of was leading with, right, is like, take these things a la carte and, something like the Thatch Buster, or the Root Booster, being able to incorporate that into a fertilizer program, as a complement to it is a huge benefit of having, so many different, rolling out all these different products over the last couple of years.
Right. And, I thought it was interesting. We talked at a Site One conference. There was like 80 contractors in there, and there was Cortevas talked, and he's talking about his pre-emergence. And then there were two guys from Site One. One talked about fertilizer and the other talked about herbicides. And every single one of those guys was talking about soil biology, microbes, and soil health. So, it's kind of like where the ag industry was 10 years ago, where it's catching on in kind of the contractor market, because they're understanding that, man, soil health is where it's at. And they're also dealing with all these neighborhoods that are put up in old cornfields, and the soil's shit, so they're trying to remediate that soil. So
that's interesting.
So if you have trouble with your soil, or you have bad soil, adding that soil biology back is the way to go.
Sure. Or even just new construction anywhere, right?
For sure. Yeah.
That's just going to destroy, it's just going to destroy what you have going on naturally anyway.
Right.
Coming in with machinery and moving everything around and, kind of disregarding so much of that topsoil, or at the very least mixing stuff up. I mean, you dig a basement and now you got a whole bunch of clay and crap that's sitting on top of the topsoil that was there. So,
Yeah, it looks
soil
like
health.
Asking, can you mix multiple products? 100%. Yeah, there's not too many things that you can't mix our products with. The only one that I would be careful on is like Lawn Commander, because that's more of your traditional fertilizer. It's a 20-03, so you don't want to mix that. If you put down a granular fert that has a lot of N in it, then you don't want to smoke your yard out. So that's one. That's really. Everything else is fairly low NPK, and although we do have a new product I'll tell you about in a little while that you'd want to be careful with too. But yeah, I mean, I make concoctions all the time, and I'm trying new stuff out all the time. And I probably screwed up my yard early this spring because I was trying a new ag product on it, and I'm like, oof, I don't know. I was mowing at night. I'm like, damn, I hope this grows out. So
yeah, one of the questions I get probably asked the most anytime I show off a Turf Titan product or a lot of them is when do you start the season? And I know me and you have kind of talked about that too,
right,
and whatnot. And I guess maybe if you want to hit on that a little bit.
Sure. So, I mean, we are kind of vague by design, because if you look at, we say, hey, here's the early spring dose. And then, so early spring in Iowa is a lot different than where Olee is, and down in Georgia. So he's putting down stuff. Those guys are getting out in the yard a heck of a lot quicker than we are in Indiana. So, I think you have to judge it off your soil temp. Once your soil temp gets in the 50s, then that's when you start the program. And at that point, it's really personal preference. So we say between each application 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, that's kind of a typical, industry standard. But with that being said, if you're, like you guys or me, I like to be putting stuff down all the time. So I might be microdosing and putting something down every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And not to confuse it too much, if you look at the product and you put down Lawn Commander, say you put it down this week, you wait 2 weeks and you come back with Thatch Buster, Lawn Commander's high nitrogen, Thatch Buster's not going to do anything that's going to react to it. So there's no risk there whatsoever. So
that's what I was going to say. So like really your 4 to 6 weeks is for that specific item. Like
right.
You'd put your Commander down every 4 to 6 weeks, but you could go every 2 weeks with, Thatch Buster or even add like Kelper and like just kind of
exactly
moving through the product.
I put Kelper and Thatch down or Kelper and Root Booster down all the time. I mean, I just think those are good mixes. When you add that biology and you have that Kelper's obviously sea kelp and aminos, but those bugs go nuts. I mean, there you go. If you would mix a half a bottle of that and half a bottle of Thatch Buster and leave it for a few days, you're going to see it start to expand because those bugs are just feasting on it and it's creating all kinds of gas. So I think I sent you a bottle that was gassing up early last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that stuff's great.
So tell us a little bit about the canine product. There's
canine
some folks asking about that. Yeah. I'm curious about that because I don't have pets, but a lot of people do, and Brian certainly does. And just curious to see, like, what can you expect with a product like that? Do you have to? I mean, how soon do you have to put it down, or what's the process there?
Yeah, so I mean that's a mixture of different bugs and then humic as well. So it is not a miracle worker. So like if you're out there and hey, you have dead spots, it's not going to resurrect those, But if your especially if your dog likes a certain area of your yard, that's mine do. So I can spray that area down and I could hit it, like once every couple of weeks. And then that's going to neutralize that urine and keep that grass from burning out. So urea, the urine, it's basically converting that and making it available to the plant and neutralizing it versus letting it burn out your lawn. Because the urine's essentially just burning it out.
Yep. Yeah.
So we've had good response. I mean, I don't know. You've probably seen a few videos on Instagram. There's a couple out there that they've tried it. We tested it out for a season and had good results with it. I want to see what people, honestly, I have a few trials going out with some people in the industry too, just said, hey, give us your honest feedback on it. I don't want to be the one that says, hey, try it out. Oh yeah, it works great. I want the people using the product to tell me that.
Mm-hmm. So do you use that as like a preventive and like you just you put it down all the time? So it's not a curative type of product.
No. So yeah, that is kind of the downfall. Cause like a lot of contractors have said, hey, I have customers that have this issue. They want to use it. The problem with it is it's more consumer based. So you want to put it down, your initial dose of it. So spray your yard down or spray those areas down that your dog's hitting. And then you come back 2 weeks later, hit it again. Then you should be able to go every month, depending on, how many dogs you have and how severe they're jacking up your yard,
Yeah, I guess everything is
fine. I have 2 small dogs. It's fine.
Yeah, I would imagine if you have 2 giant, like,
Great Danes.
Right. Great Danes or
right.
What's the other one there? The one that the
bull
cops always
mastiffs,
have. Yeah, those ones.
Right.
What about deer?
Deer? I don't know. That's a good question.
I got deer.
Yeah.
I think
I've got a solution for that, but it's not a.
It starts with 308.
Right. They're tasty. Yeah.
The MPK is 308.
All right. Yeah.
Suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that, but I just don't want them to go into someone else's yard and fall. if they would stay right here, it would be okay, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, question on that real quick. I have a buddy who lives in upstate New York, and he sent me a photo of his landscaping, and he said his whole neighborhood wraps their arborvitaes in burlap because the deer in the winter come and just smoke them. And he showed me a picture, and basically where they could reach the whole way down was just gone.
Luckily they don't bother my green giant Lethusias.
Yeah.
I've had a little buck try to rub one, tear it up.
Yeah.
But luckily they don't mess that up. And you can see where they tromple in the yard, and you can see where they sleep at night.
Yeah.
But like I went out today, and I had about 4 places that are bleached white. And at first I thought it was where I set my weed eater down, like possibly gas.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I wasn't here or there with the weed eater at all. And then I got some close-ups, and I believe it's urea, you know, basically deer urine, deer piss,
Right.
what I'm gonna say. So
You could, I mean, I would think it would do the same thing. You could try it out. I'll send you a bottle. Again, you know, that's going to be probably a heck of a lot more concentrated than a dog, you know?
because they don't drink they don't have a water bowl beside the refrigerator like your dog.
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah, a little stronger.
unless I hadn't seen any coyotes in a while. Coyotes are terrible about that, not drinking.
I was trying to look back through the chat because I don't remember who was asking. Maybe it was Shifty, but they were asking about what you guys have available at Walmart. Do you guys have like a few products on the shelf? Are you guys planning on getting more or expanding? Or I guess that's kind of what he was asking about. There is
So right now, I mean, that's as we grow, we've been trying to get other distribution points. So right now, we have Walmart, only one SKU at this point. So, and if you would ask me on year 3, hey, are you guys going to be in Walmart? I would say, no, you're absolutely no way.
Sure. Yeah.
So that was just lucky, honestly.
Well, how'd you guys make that happen? What was the process for you guys to get in with Walmart?
Man, it was crazy. That was one of probably the coolest things I've ever done, like in my career. So it's called Open Call. And I had no idea that Walmart even did this, and we applied to it. And they invite small entrepreneurial businesses down to Bentonville. And it was the first time that they had in-person reviews since COVID started. It was last June. And so you go down there, or you apply. There's 40,000 companies that apply, and then they break it down to 1,400. So 1,400 go in, and it's kind of like a Shark Tank, and you present in front of a buyer and a merchandiser, and you have 20 minutes. And after 20, I mean, they tell you, all right, you're done. You have 1 minute left. And so we finished up, and I'm like, man, we killed this. You know, we got this. And she's like, okay, guys, well, we'll be in touch. And I walk out, and I'm like, shit. And then she walks over to this, like an usher, and they hand them a "you got a deal," like it's this yellow ticket. And she handed it to me and said, hey, you got a deal. We're going to put Thatch Buster in next year. So it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is it in every store, or like what
No,
percentage?
it's only in it's like 1,000 stores. So
Just 1,000.
whereas it's random, man. I mean, we have 4 stores in Fort Wayne. It's in 2 of them. So that was part of. So we just had another review with them, and we're trying to get 3 more products in there for next year. And we asked for more stores too. And we kind of said, hey, here's where our products really sell geographically. So let's focus on those stores too.
Can you share with us any of the numbers, or is it doing well? Can you tell us more?
Yeah, it's doing good. I mean, you know, it's crazy because they ordered everything they call it the mod. So their mod set, everything shipped out January 5th. So they do that store set for all their spring lawn and garden stuff in January. So it was sitting there, and I'm like, man, we're not selling anything. We're going to get kicked out. And then, you know, we get into March, and the sales start going, and you can look at the stores. So we saw like Texas was selling, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and then now it's really started to pick up. So every week we sell more. So it's going good.
That's great.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
That makes sense. I remember seeing it in the store in like February and thinking like, well, it's too early to get it. But you really think about it. Like, I mean, right now Walmart's probably putting out like 4th of July decorations right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
hell, next week, Christmas trees will be out, and
Right.
like
Exactly.
so that makes sense like that. But to your point, like you were saying, like it freezes. Was there any concern with like shipping stuff in the winter or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. So, we were okay on all that, but yeah, it's always a concern. And, just navigating, like Walmart's a huge monster, so figuring out everything that you have to do to make sure that you can service that account right is pretty crazy.
So when they put you guys in the stores, did they just picked a spot on the shelf with their other stuff, and you were just kind of there, and if somebody happened to walk down the aisle looking for something, they see you, they grab it, or was there any kind of end cap or promotion, or did they do anything to advertise? No. So you're gaining traction just by being there on the shelf. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's significant.
And I mean, it's kind of this network too, they say, hey, I got this at Walmart, or, people are learning about it online. There's other things that you can do to try to generate people on their online sales too, that will go to the stores. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, but the main thing is they put us at eye level. So that's huge at retail. So they give us a really good spot. We're right next to, some good products too. And
mine, it was right next to that Sunday product in my Walmart.
Yeah. Never heard of them.
Hey,
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
right,
whatever. Yeah.
I was going to ask. So I noticed, and I've heard this in discussion that, so I guess I'm curious where it came from, but the product that's sold at Walmart is a different formula or a different size, or it's something like, because it doesn't cover as much.
If you look at its price points, right? So honestly, I don't want to have the same product that I'm selling on Amazon in a Walmart store. Number one, I mean, the price points, a Walmart customer isn't going to pay $35 for Thatch Busters. So the coverage is different. Everything else is the same. So I think your coverage at Walmart is 6,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And all of our other products are 8,000.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I had kind of heard that. And actually I had people ask me like, well, why is it this price here and this price here? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Same product. And we most likely, because we're looking at trying to get into some other retailers, we're talking to Lowe's, we're talking to some other hardware stores, things like that. So we'll do that for everybody just because that retail price point's better than Amazon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that availability really helps too.
For sure.
There's a lot of stuff I use where I wish I could just go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and grab a bag of it when I need it versus ordering it and waiting for it to arrive. You kind of got to plan ahead because not all this stuff it's not all Amazon next day or 2-day shipping for some of this stuff. So you really got to think about it or schedule out your season on some level, stuff you're going to use down the road. But it's nice to have stuff you can just go hop out there, grab it on your lunch break at work or whatever. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So then was that something that like they kind of pointed you in that direction, or was that something you guys said, hey, we want to differentiate?
Yeah, so that's what they said. They said, hey, that we need, and that happened during open call. They said, hey, your price point's a little high for our customers. Is there anything we can do to try to get that down? So I'm like, hey, yeah, we can cover less area, dilute the product a bit, have the same hose in, but that, a 6,000 square foot coverage, if you put that down and a bottle's going to cover that, just like the other guys do, 6,000 square feet, 6,000 square feet. What else did they tell us? They wanted us to call that out on the front of the label. So that's why it's in red. And that's how you can tell the difference. It says 6,000 square feet, big and red. And then they wanted a view strip. So if you see all the new bottles, I don't know if I have one here, actually. I don't, because I have all old ones. But there's a view strip on the back of the bottle now.
Yeah.
I need to figure out my camera. So when you're putting it down, you can see, okay, hey, this is, here's how much product I have left. And that was one of the learnings too. When we came out, this is actually an old hose end, the gray and white one. And I did it by design. So it was 4 ounces per gallon is our dose on everything. So I made these hose ends dose it. I think that's a 1:32 ratio. And man, it came out hot. I mean, you would burn through a bottle quick if you weren't on it. So we had a lot of complaints on it. And so we actually, I met in the middle and bumped it up and doubled that. So it's a 1:64 ratio on the new hose ends that are all white. And I could get it. My yard's about 8,000 square feet, but man, I was working through the yard pretty quick. So anyway, the 1:64 is good. Some of those other products out there, I'm like, is this thing working? And it takes 20 minutes to get through a bottle. I don't like that either. So it's kind of, we met in the middle.
Yeah. I remember the first time I'd put down the lawn kelper, I remember emailing you like, holy shit. Like it's supposed to be like 3,000 or 4,000 square foot. And I didn't even get like 1,000. I mean,
right. I remember you told me that, and Jason Troy called me and was like, hey dude, I think you have a problem. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So,
I remember like,
yeah,
I think I'd got like 4 bottles and you're like, oh, that should do at least 2 applications. I'm like, I didn't even finish my whole yard with 4 bottles. I'm like, something's not right. But
yeah, man. I mean, that's, you just learn, I mean, there's stuff we're not perfect. That's for sure. I mean, that's some of our original, pictures and stuff that we post on social. I mean, we just got lambasted on one because we had a little pump sprayer that was like, this big, and we were getting hammered for. I was like, I don't know. So
everybody's a critic.
Though, you could have it the opposite.
Right, exactly. I was like, these people are brutal. They're coming at us.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we know how that is.
Yeah.
Don't say anything wrong ever, because they will call you out.
I had some dude tell me
watching us right now.
Yeah, I had some dude tell me on my most recent reel. You guys go look at the comment. It was kind of funny. I laughed. He was like, "Oh, you need to get a reel mower, like REAL." He's like, "You need to get a reel mower and cut that grass shorter. Stop using that crazy contraption like the lawn striper." And I was like, yeah, I'm good. My guy. Right. It's tall fescue. It's supposed to be tall.
I love it when the guys are like, oh, I could stripe my lawn without that thing. And I was like, oh yeah, what do you work with? Well, it's a 60-inch 0-turn scag, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Try with a 21-inch push mower, my guy.
Right.
Come on, get out of here. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, speaking of some of these products, Andrew, I heard that you were thinking about giving a couple things away to the live chat.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Hey, it looks like somebody did have a question on hose end versus backpack.
I mean, let's hit that.
I think, again, I like backpack, because I like making a concoction. I throw more than one product in. I use some of our products. I like on our ag side, we have humic. I throw humic in everything. So I personally like the backpack because I can make my own concoction. I can throw my pre-emergence in there. It all depends if you don't have a backpack sprayer, and hey, I mean, it's an economical way with the hose in, just to put things down. So that's, again, if you look what I said at the beginning, we're trying to make lawn care easy for everybody, So a lot of people don't want to deal with a spreader or don't have a spreader. So they can just grab a bottle, go out and spray their yard, and they're done. And it works. It's fine.
I was always a little hesitant with spraying, especially with the backpack sprayer, in the beginning, because granular is easy. You get a cheap Scott spreader, you get some bags, you put it down. And then the sprayers have, there was just more things to it. You got to kind of maybe do a little bit of math in your head. You got to figure out how fast you're walking, things like that. It was a little bit intimidating, but once you kind of start doing it and you get more comfortable, it does kind of open things up to give you so many more options, because there's a lot of stuff that's available in a liquid that you can't really do as easily in a granular. And it's nice just to have that flexibility. And the hose and sprayers are nice too, especially if you just want to real quick, get something down, boom, or just hit one smaller area or whatever it is. It's not quite as involved as a whole backpack sprayer would be. So,
The
it's just a
sprayers just look cooler.
I mean, they do. They
Yeah,
do.
that's true.
Yeah.
Look like you're out there getting some business done, you know.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, let's do a giveaway. We can do what I was going to do is do 2 if you guys want to, and we can do a product of choice. The new product that we're launching that, you know, we just got it in today. This is one of the first bottles here, Lawn Striper. So we've been waiting for this a long time. It is a 1200 with 6% iron and 2% manganese. It's going to give you that green pop and darken it up. So super fired up about this product. And really, honestly, we launched this and named this because of all of you guys. You know, I mean, that's, yeah, there, yeah, exactly.
You can give me my cut later.
Oh, Nate. Right. I'm Nate over here.
So, and then with that, we'll give away the hat. So we got some new Nike.
Nice.
Yeah, and if they want, I'll let them choose if they want the white one, or we have a gray one too. So, which is also Nike.
Sweet.
And then I have a T-shirt. So we'll do 2 of these bundles. So
Love that.
yeah,
That's
I
great.
had somebody in the office that said bad lawn, and they're like, "Why'd you put a donkey on there?" I was like, "Are you
Jeez.
serious, bro?
Really?
Come on."
Did you forget your coffee?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've
So
seen some of your
if they don't
guys'
want- if they don't want the badass lawn one, then we just have a regular Turf Titan that they can choose from too. That's just a green Turf Titan
All right.
T-shirt.
Gotcha.
All right,
Good.
so I'm going to go ahead and start on a wheel of names because our boy Brian is not here this evening. So if you would like to be entered for one of these 2 packs, one of these 2 giveaways, we're going to do 2 winners, right? Go ahead and type Titan in the chat, and I'll start throwing them in the wheel, and you guys can talk some more about the your new product launch here.
I think it's
So yeah,
time
we're
for
super
else.
fired up and about the iron product. Like I said, I'm ready to put that down next week.
So hey, before we get into that, let's talk about Lawn of the Week, you guys. Laying stripes in the springtime. Ooh. So last week, we were a little bit behind the ball, even though we were looking. So we're doing 2 winners this week. 2 lawns of the week. I'm just gonna keep rocking.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a lot of really sexy lawns right now, and it is getting tough. And last week there was an amazing lawn. Somebody is new to me. I don't know if you guys. I think this is a newer account. They didn't have too much up there yet, but it's obvious that they know what they're doing. So our lawn of the week winner last week was Kevin Nacker. I don't want to say it too wrong, but we saw that, and
That's a single, double, single crisscross. That's badass.
That's ridiculous.
That's a crazy lot shape too.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's giving me Olee vibes, you know, even with the trees in the background and everything. I like it.
Yeah, that's definitely sharp.
Yeah, so that's our winner for last week, and we've talked about reels. Nobody's really posting KOTG Lawn of the Week reels, except we finally have our first awesome reel winner for this week's Lawn of the Week. And that's Lowry.
You make me feel so good.
Look at those. Dang.
Long, straight stripes.
You just keep going.
Congrats.
Who was that one?
Guys. That was Carter Lowry. Carter Lowry 05 on Instagram. Both
Yeah.
a couple new names that so I'm excited. You know, congrats, you guys. If you want to enter into Lawn of the Week contest when you're posting pictures or reels, use that hashtag KOTG Lawn of the Week for your chance to win. Don't do a story because those disappear and we're not always looking at it throughout the day. But we are following the hashtag. We do see your posts, your reels. Finally got a real winner, so that's pretty sexy. But use the hashtag. Winners get their choice of Pro Peat that's available on the Home Depot website, 25-pound bag, Pro Peat, or their fossil product, any ratio, whatever prill size you want to get that's available on the website. Let us know what you want. As long as you're within the continental U.S., we can't ship overseas. We can't ship to Alaska. But I think all the other 48 states, I don't think there's any issues there. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if I'm missing anything. I'm drawing a blank here, but KOTG Lawn of the Week. Use that hashtag. We're following. This is a good time of year, man. Lawns are looking really good. People are excited. I think at least for me, the tail end of summer, I'm kind of like, oh my god, I've been getting so hot and tired, exhausted. But now I'm like, you're pumped, you're excited. So keep using the hashtag, everybody, and we'll see who wins next week.
Well, it was even fun for us because we're getting back into 20 different entries, and so we get to debate them, and we're all going to have different opinions of why we like things and whatnot, and sometimes it comes down to a tie-breaking vote behind the scenes and whatnot. So kind of fun, and there's several people that are in the chat that obviously didn't win this week, but they may have been on the other side of that tie-breaking vote. So keep posting. That's about the biggest thing I can say is if you didn't win this week, keep posting. If you didn't win the next week, keep posting because we look at it all the time, and there may be 30 entries one week and maybe 5 entries the next, and you just got to keep posting, and we'll definitely see you. Yeah. So, yeah, Derek said I lied. It's because he mowed curvy stripes. So I told him I was changing my vote, and I did. So, I was going to vote for Derek for Lawn of the Week, but I saw those curvy stripes. I said,
you
no.
did vote for him a few weeks ago, but I'll give him that credit in the chat.
I did vote for him.
You. Yeah, he did. You did vote for him a couple weeks ago.
I know. And I saw those curvy stripes he did, and I had to, nope, canceled. So, y'all know it. You won't get my vote if you have any
But
random.
yeah, you're right. There's tons. There's so many good entries. Like we could have did top 10, and it would look sweet.
Yeah. So, hey, one product I wanted to ask about is I know you kind of got another newer product out. This is the Hydra-Holder. You can see it. Can you tell us about that product a little bit?
Yeah, so that is a straight surfactant. So the reason that we brought that out is wetting agent, surfactant. The reason we brought it out is because we were doing testing over at Purdue with the Drought Defender, and we had that side by side with some surfactants out in the marketplace too. And so we would go over different times and work and see how they're doing. And man, some of the surfactants just look, they were really good too. And Drought Defender adds, that nutrients along with it and has some other things in it. But if you just want to keep that green, the surfactant worked awesome. So, golf courses use surfactants in the hottest times of the year. The idea is, when it rains, that water is going to travel down the same path. So what the surfactant does is basically take that water. It's more efficient use of your water, and it spreads it out throughout your topsoil and kind of holds it there. So that's my wife calls me Thatch Buster. Okay, hey, one thing when we were throwing names around, sorry, I gotta tell this. So Thatch Buster was gonna be Thatch Snatcher. So, but we went with Thatch Buster.
Oh, that would have sold twice as much.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So there might be a Snatcher product coming out at some point.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of the idea with the Hydra-Holder, and from obviously not necessarily in the Midwest, but water is a huge issue, so anything that you can do to conserve that water and make it work better for you and make more efficient use out of it, that's huge. So it's used in a lot of commercial settings, but not necessarily in residential lawn. So we wanted to bring that technology to residential lawn.
Yeah, that's my big thing is I don't know if I'm going to really be saving money on water this year, but I would like to be a little greener with the money I'm spending on water. So
Right.
yeah, little things hopefully can kind of help carry through. I wanted to ask, so before the show, I said, your logo Turf Tide, it's very cool, and I've seen some of your guys' Instagram posts. Who does some of your guys' marketing or your guys' slogans for some of these T-shirts that you guys got? I think some of those are pretty. Those are pretty hilarious. Are those done in house, or is it kind of a combination? You guys have a team of guys, or
yeah, it's a little bit of both. So we actually we work with a crew that's actually big into the hunting industry. So they're a little more edgy, and
okay.
And we said we were like, we don't want to be Scots, we don't want to be Sunday. We want to have more fun with this and be a little edgy, and so we just kind of throw stuff out there. And so they have a couple people on their team that we throw ideas with, but T-shirts, man, that is all Josh. I mean, he said he has like a notebook and he even sits around and he has one. What did he say today? It was something with MILF. But it was guys in the warehouse, I was like, HR's just sweating right now that you even said that. So
you do always have like guys with tats or like bikers spraying their lawn. So like,
right, it's just fun, I mean, we're like, all right, we don't want it to be, and we actually had the Lowe's buyers like, hey, yeah, you guys are cool and I get it, but you're also sustainable and you're doing great things for the environment and soil and lawn and all that. She's like, I think you need more women in your marketing too. And she's right. So we're trying to work on that as well. So we took that.
Moms.
Yeah, really, man. I mean, it's because there's a lot of people.
That's where
it's probably a 50-50 split on the calls that we get.
Is it really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I work mostly with women in pharmacy. It's a very women-dominated field.
Yeah.
Anymore now, and but there's a few of them. They're asking me some questions. And they're getting. They want to get their lawns looking good, and so it's not just dads. Anymore.
Right.
And there's a few folks on Instagram too that have accounts, and they're they're out there mowing. Oh God.
Yeah.
Schmunk lawn guy.
Papa.
Yep, Petunia's on there. Yeah, see, she reps our products, and we actually had her on the front of our Walmart presentation because I was
That's
like,
awesome.
That's awesome. That's so great.
Yeah. So, and there's a couple
she's
other
a big
ones
she's a big brand partner with you guys.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Definitely.
So,
Oh hell
yeah.
God.
So what does that stand for? Moms I like to fertilize with?
There you go.
yeah.
Moms
I wish I could
indeed.
remember what he said, but we were
Moms
all like,
indeed
man.
love fertilizer.
Yeah. Getting back to Josh, so his mind doesn't shut down. He thinks of all this stuff, and he has a notebook, and he's like, "Man, I'm just pulling. I have plenty to keep going with." But like the 420 post that we had this earlier, in the month, that was Rubline. It was our marketing firm that we use. So yeah, they do a good job.
Nice.
Speaking of that, you have something called Bud Builder.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about that.
It doesn't, man, that's a tough one because again, trying to figure out what was going to take off. Well, there's a lot more people that have lawns and care about their lawns than grow wheat. So, I mean, plus the guys that, you think we're all crazy with our lawns. People that grow cannabis are ridiculous.
Oh, man.
They truly are mad scientists, and
They
to
are.
have one product out there, it just doesn't. We sell some of it on Amazon and stuff, but I think we're probably going to reposition that product and make it more towards, flowers and that sort of thing.
That's kind of what I thought you were getting at with that initially. It's like, oh, like some bulbs and some flower buds and things like that. But yeah, that would be the next logical thing to broaden out. Would be the rest of the garden, the rest of the landscape, stuff for trees and shrubs and stuff. So
yeah, anything outdoor, and trees and shrubs. That's one of the things that we're looking at in the future, because I think that's a definite need when people plant. What can we do to maybe a drench or something like that?
Yeah. Especially when you get some of those microbes in there too, right? To help kind of the roots with the stress and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to give them a kickstart.
Yeah.
You ready to
Nice.
spin it?
Bud Builder.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm selling some Bud Builder on here. Actually, when we were talking, I'm getting Amazon sales as we're going, or actually website sales, and we sold a bottle while this was going on. So yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I won't release its name.
I bet we know who it is.
All right, yeah, he might be on. He may or may not be in this chat.
Hey, hit that
Alrighty.
like button if you haven't already. I don't know how many likes you've got, but I saw there was like 62, 64 in the chat right now. So smash that like, subscribe bell, all the things if you haven't already. Let's get this wheel going.
All right.
Better get those likes up before we do the wheel, don't you think?
I wish we could respond to comments on this new platform that we have. That's the only thing is I can see everything, but I have to have a separate device.
Just gotta get your phone out.
I know. I can't tag people though, like respond, or at least I don't know how on the phone.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, you ready to spinner?
Yep.
Spinner.
Alrighty.
You got music, or you want me to?
What's that? I already hit share. Do you have to do that?
Oh, what are you trying to do? Oh yeah,
Sure.
Here,
You gotta accept the
I
screen
got you.
share.
All right, my bad. Brian, see, it's weird. The whole time I've been figuring out because I didn't realize how much Brian's doing too, and like I'm doing like. I don't
Gotcha.
know, took me a minute.
All right. Well, here we are. Let's go for it. 41 entries. Let's spin it.
We should have at least 41 likes though.
What is that? Pirates of the Caribbean?
Lawn of the week.
On of the week,
Lawn of the
Oh
week.
man,
Jeez.
Lucky.
double winner.
Lucky
Yeah.
duck.
there he is.
There he
Congrats,
is.
Carter.
How many gallons is he gonna?
You're gonna
need
have to walk
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, that's
You may get one stripe.
Yeah, that's the greenest stripe around.
You
Hey,
have
that'd be
one
a-
Turf Titan stripe
that'd be a
out
test.
there.
All right. Hey, yeah, just send us a note with your information and what you like. If you don't want the lawn striper, let me know what product you want. Send me a Instagram message. Just Turf Titan. We'll take care of you.
Brent, that song was like, that was like a combo of like medieval times and Pirates of the Caribbean or something. That was
Well, I chose it because it's called what was it called? Let me
What's it
look
called?
real quick.
Strength
It's
of
called
the
Strength of the Titans.
Titans.
That's why I chose it. All right, let's go for number 2 here. Let's go
So
for
on
number
brand.
2. Let's see what we got here. Let's do a little shuffle. 1, 2. All right, number 2. Winner number 2.
All right.
Jonathan
Wagner.
Wagner. All right.
Congratulations.
All right. So for our spin winners, make sure that you message the KOTG Instagram that you won and with your address so we can get that information over to Andrew and get that stuff out to you. And make sure that whenever you get that stuff, make sure that you communicate with Turf Titan and let them know what you think of the products. Any feedback? I mean, that's kind of one of the good things about doing the giveaways. It's getting product into the hands of somebody that watches the show, and give some extra honest feedback to the company. Let them know what you think, what you like, what you don't like. I mean, it's all those little things like we were talking about earlier, with the hose end sprayer, the nozzle, right?
Right.
That's what's going to makes products, packaging, sprayers, all that stuff better. So whenever you guys get it, make sure that you give some feedback to Turf Titan. Let them know. Shout them out on Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're using.
Shout us out.
Shout us out on TikTok or Instagram. Yep. Tell your friends, come on in here, like and subscribe. We're getting close. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. We're getting up there. So, need a couple hundred more. So tell your friends and your family.
Hey, be like Jake. If you're a longtime podcast listener, come join us on the live cast sometime. Throw your name in the wheel, and maybe you'll win something. But thanks for joining us tonight, Jake. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for the support. Absolutely.
I love seeing that. I've said it before, but I love seeing people. The cross-platform. Guys coming in from the podcast or guys from the live cast that are in the chat on the live cast. Catching on the podcast platforms. I love kind of that cross-platform movement that we're starting to see with so many people that are finding us on podcasts and then going like, oh, let me check it out on YouTube. We appreciate that. And the benefit is, a lot of times the companies that we have on are willing to do a giveaway. So it's beneficial if you can, especially we got a company on. Join us on the live chat, get involved in the mix.
Yeah.
So Andrew, if somebody wanted to reach out to you guys or if they had a question about Turf Titan, what would be the best way to contact you guys? Do you guys prefer reaching out Instant Messenger, Instagram?
Any of the, Facebook, Instagram, we email hello@turftitanbrands.com. Those all work. And we just hired a new guy that started, his name's Addison, about 3 weeks ago. So he's going to be handling all those too. So I'm trying to push him into it. So he's drinking out of a fire hose right now.
All that new employee orientation and crash course on Turf Titan. All right, very cool.
So,
I was gonna say it is cool seeing you. Like we met you 2 years ago at GIE.
Yeah,
we knew everybody. We know everybody, and then we didn't know who Turf Titan was 2 years ago at GIE. I remember Nate and Brent coming to me and being like, "Hey, there's this cool company, Turf Titan. Like they got a booth over here." And like I'm like, Turf Titan, like what? And none of us have heard of you. And then we met there, and then like now you could definitely tell you guys have grown a lot in those 2 years, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember you telling me, I'm not trying to like, this doesn't really mean nothing, but I was looking at your bottles and you're like, actually there's Coke in them. It's not actually even.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And like, cause you were just figuring it out. You didn't even have it like,
and we made a mess when we left. So that's funny. Yeah, man, it's been fun. I mean, I love doing this. I love coming in every day to work. It's been, the crew that we have is awesome. The community, like you guys and everybody else that we deal with, they're just good people, and it's just fun to do. So we just want to keep putting good products out, and I'm serious. Like I was going to say it earlier, like when you talk about looking at the products or if something sucks, let us know. I read all the reviews on Amazon every day. That's the first thing I do when I come in the morning, because I want to know, if we're good or bad, are we winning or losing, and what do we have? If we're doing something wrong, then what do we need to do to correct it? So, and I think that's what we've done since day one, and we'll continue to do it. So, but I appreciate you guys giving me the audience and the platform, and it's been fun.
No, well, we appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us and updating us. And, I'll echo that. It's cool to see you guys growing and, getting at Walmart. I mean, come on, big time stuff happening with you guys.
Well, let's celebrate at, it's not GIE anymore. What is it? Equip the next year. So
Equip that. GIE is so much easier though.
It is, man. Equip just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well,
all right, guys.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, in the live chat.
Yeah, and if you're not following them, go follow Turf Titan Brands on Instagram.
And pick up some Milfer.
There you go. Hey, we'll take any names that you guys have. I've seen some good ones in the chat, so feel free to send them our way. We'll give you some serious swag if we choose one.
Look at that community engagement from Turf Titan.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, later.